But the big winner, I believe, is the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets, at least for the next few years, will own New York basketball.
I'll give you even more. I'm telling you that I think Brooklyn will win the NBA championship in 2 years. That's where I'm going.
So Durant's first year back.
Yep. I like it so much.
No sleep till.
Did you just want to play this song? Because, I mean, dude, that's not premature.
Wow.
That's not premature.
No, I'm telling you. His first year back, it don't take long. Rack 'em. I'm going with Brooklyn in 2 years as the NBA champion.
Your Brooklyn predictions don't have.
I was right about
Game
Game 1 against Philadelphia. I did get that one right. I'm just saying. I'm going to go. I'm going to step out there. I'm going to step out there.
Are you willing to say you'll move to Mexico?
I think I'm moving to Mexico.
No, I might move to Bed-Stuy. How's that?
Hey, my father-in-law lives in Bed-Stuy.
Bed-Stuy?
Do or die, Bed-Stuy.
So this is the thing.
Changing a lot.
People,
gentrification.
well, we already know.
Yeah,
Brooklyn all over.
Right.
But people who don't know, unless you're from outside of New York, you say I'm from Brooklyn. But if you're in Brooklyn or in New York, you don't say I'm from Brooklyn. You say I'm from Bed-Stuy,
right.
or I'm from Canarsie,
Brownsville,
right? That's how you don't do it that way.
Yep.
Everybody, like, people think I'm from East New York, which is Brooklyn.
Look, I'm not with you on predicting a championship in 2020 yet, or 2021 for the Brooklyn Nets.
Long time from now.
But what I am with you on. I like the move. I think Kevin Durant is tremendous. I think Kyrie Irving is tremendous as a player. And he does, look, Antonio Daniels hit it on the head. For me, this year for Kyrie Irving should be about him, improving his leadership. And he does have a relationship with some of these Nets. I believe Spencer Dinwiddie was recruiting him, back in December throughout the rest of the year.
He turned into a good player, man.
He is nice.
I saw him in Detroit, and I could always tell he could play, but I think he really blossomed.
Got a nice team. Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, Joe Harris is still there, Jared Allen. Now you bring in DeAndre Jordan, Kyrie Irving. Next year, I think they can fight for home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs. And then if KD comes back 90, 95%, or heck, 100%, they're going to be a contender. They're going to be a contender. So big for Brooklyn. They look, you got Jay-Z as an owner. You got a great new stadium or arena.
It's a beautiful arena. It's not Madison Square Garden, but it's beautiful. You've been there.
Yeah, it's certainly more state-of-the-art.
Right, it's
nowadays.
new.
Right,
it was built a couple years ago.
It is nice. I mean, look, a lot of players will tell you when you play. And here's the thing most people don't know, and you know this from covering them. When you play for the Knicks practice in Westchester County, like essentially upstate New York.
Right.
And so the players some live in Connecticut, some live in,
and then trying to get into the city.
Right. But you can't, but very few Knicks ever live in Manhattan.
Which is crazy because people who have big money should live in Manhattan.
Right. And whereas with the Nets, because they're in Brooklyn and practice right across the Brooklyn Bridge, essentially.
Right.
Or the Manhattan Bridge, either one. You can live in Manhattan. There are Nets that live in Battery Park and
then just take the
Lower
bridge
Manhattan.
over.
Yeah, so and it's not far for practice. So there are a lot of benefits to that the Nets have. Now, there's a second half of this story though, Rob. The New York Knicks. The New York Knicks have, all year they thought they were getting Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, or Kevin Durant and somebody.
Right.
And they failed. And look, I will give the Knicks this. I'm going to give them credit for not spending their money wildly. For when we didn't get Kawhi, we didn't get KD. All right, we're not just going to go max Tobias Harris, as good as he may be. We're not just going to go max Kemba Walker, good as he may be. Because we know they're not leading us to a championship. So they're building slowly. And I got to be honest, look, they were the big losers. Or big losers. I think the Clippers will be the bigger losers just in terms of the offseason. Because they had expectations and hopes too.
I think the Knicks are bigger.
Well, the Clippers are a better team.
Right, but only from this standpoint. They were in line to get the first overall pick, And
well, but you can't.
No,
take,
I'm just
you
saying.
Can't blame them
but,
for that.
But
I mean,
no,
that's
but
just
I'm
luck.
No, I know that, but I'm saying where they were after they had a horrendous season, trying to take that next step. They had a lot of things lined up for them, and they got none of it.
They got R.J. Barrett, who may end up being a star.
Nice.
I mean, seriously,
Okay.
he's potentially could be a star. A year ago, he was viewed as the number 1 pick in this draft.
And he wound up not
number
being.
3.
Okay.
But he played well
I'm
in
just
college.
saying,
I don't blame him for the draft. Now, I think they
No,
lost.
I'm not blaming. I'm just saying, like to me.
But that was just
all the
they
expectations
had a 14%
that they had.
chance
I know,
to get the number 1 pick.
but
That's
it was bad. Everything stinks.
The Clippers thought they were getting somebody as well.
Oh, no doubt. I'm
And
not
now
saying
they're
that.
better. But what I'll say is that the Knicks, I actually think they've done a decent job after they.
I don't see them as a
spurred.
playoff team.
No.
So,
but R.J. Barrett, who, let him develop. We'll see what he is. Julius Randle is an improving and very good player. We'll see if he's a winning player. He can put up numbers. Can he win?
a lot of guys can put numbers up.
No, I know,
and you know
but that's
that,
what we
right.
want to see. But he's young. This kid
I'm
came
not
right
saying
out
he
of school
can't-
after 1 year.
I'm not saying he can't play. We've seen him.
Right. And then you got Taj Gibson, a good veteran. Wayne Ellington, okay, he shoots, whatever. But I think they've done a decent job of building, but they were big losers. And, Rob, this is a big part of it for me. I do think James Dolan being the owner is an issue, but the main reason, this is what I think foiled the Knicks. Kevin Durant's injury. That did it. Because I do believe the talk that KD was going there was true.
No, I believe all the
Right?
stuff we heard all year, all was playing
Right.
out. Just about all year. We heard that for a long time. I heard it strong just 2 weeks ago.
Look,
2
I
weeks
think
ago,
what
heavy.
happened was when he got injured. Now, the Knicks were only in max guys on Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant. They would take Kyrie, Jimmy Butler, Kemba Walker to go with one of those guys if that's what it took to get them, and they would max them. But they really only thought KD and Kawhi were true max guys that they wanted to invest in. So once KD gets hurt and he's out the whole year, the Knicks were leery, more than leery, about maxing Kyrie and having him be their locker room leader and team leader for a year. And I don't know if that got back to Kyrie or what, but Kyrie, I don't even want to say that that's when he turned to Brooklyn. He grew up a Nets fan.
No, he did.
His dad had season tickets to the Nets, so he may have always been in on the Nets for what we all we
You don't know, right?
But when it started coming out that he was all in on the Nets, I do think Kyrie wanted to get KD to the Nets. KD wanted to get Kyrie to the Knicks. But when KD got hurt, who's got the leverage in that discussion? Kyrie's probably like, look, if I go to the Knicks, we're going to be getting thumped for a whole year, and I'm going to be the one bearing the brunt of that from the media, right?
Yeah. No, I
don't want to do – so you're in Brooklyn. You're not as much scrutiny, not as much expectations. And so I think that played a huge part in this.
I do think that there's truth to that. And had he not been hurt, it would have been different. I do think that changed a lot of stuff. But
you think they would? Somebody plugged in who's been giving me great information told me that if I asked him if KD doesn't get hurt, what do you think happens? He said, I think him and Kyrie go to
the
New York.
Knicks.
Because DeAndre Jordan was trying to get him. DeAndre was going to go wherever those two went, but he wanted to
because he was already with the Knicks. He was already there. Right.
He wanted to be the Knicks.
It's going to be as it plays out. I still think though when you look at where the Knicks are, like having the spot for two max players, and I think that's a smokescreen, a spin that, well, they didn't offer him the max. You don't have any leverage if you're the New York. I'm sorry. There's a bad team tax that you have to pay, Chris, and a risk for reward, and this whole notion that they are like, well, we're not throwing bad money. They're the kings of bad money.
Thank you.
They've thrown nothing but bad money at bad players for years. And all of a sudden, the New York Knickerbockers are going to be fiscally responsible, and they're going to say, no, well, KD's not 35, and you're hoping he's going to play again. I remember when the Knicks wouldn't sign Bernard King when he tore up his knee. You remember that?
Yep.
Because now that was a serious injury, and he wouldn't let them see him like their doctors.
Right.
I respected that. I agree. I couldn't sign
you.
you.
Let us look at
if you don't let me
yeah.
look at you and give you an exam, I'm not doing that. He might not be able to walk. But on this case, for the Knicks to play hardball saying they're not going to do it makes no sense. I don't believe it one bit.
Well, and as you said,
I don't.
look, it's not like being, and I know you didn't mean it this way, but giving Durant the max, what wouldn't have been being fiscally irresponsible? And the Golden State Warriors, they have been the best run franchise in the last few years. They were willing to give him $60 million more than the Knicks. They're willing to give him the full 5 years, $221. The Brooklyn Nets, who have been well run the last few years, obviously, they maxed him or were willing to. You know, the Clippers, well run the last few years. Jerry West, the greatest executive in the history of the league, they were willing to max him. And we're supposed to believe the Knicks weren't. And Scott Perry and Steve Mills know what they're doing.
Right. They've been around.
They were going to max him.
I don't believe that story.
I've been told by the Knicks that there was no discussion with them and KD's reps that they weren't going to max him. That's been either that James Dolan has gotten out there to make it look like the Knicks didn't get stood up,
right?
Or from KD's group
so that they can say
right.
why they picked Brooklyn over the right. That's
right.
a reason. But I'm not buying either. So it's crazy.